Hello, ghosties. You're listening to Not My Ghost.
Not my problem. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Jen.
Whether you're a skeptic, a true believer, or somewhere in between, join us for a journey into the unknown.
Because remember, when it comes to the paranormal, it may not be our problem.
But it's certainly someone's problem.
Wasn't Paracon a blast, Kelly?
You know, it was so fun. I had a really good time. We did all the things we did.
We did do all the things.
Mhm.
I had such a fun time. I can't even remember anything specific that we did.
You know, it's weird, but same.
Yeah,
I
I'll probably
feel the same
remember
thing.
in a couple of weeks.
Probably a couple weeks, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
our memory might come back. I know we did things.
Mhm.
I know we walked in buildings.
Yes.
And I know
we met people.
We met people, right.
Uh-huh,
Those are the
yeah.
three things that I really remember that we did.
Of course. Absolutely. Yeah. Really
And
specific.
had fun.
Had a blast.
Had so much fun. We can get into more specifics about the amount of fun that we've had later after, you know.
We have time to process everything.
Process it. Yeah, sure.
We're still processing it all right now.
Yeah.
So we can't get into any specifics.
Nope.
No.
If you hear my REM pod beeping, it's just because I am monitoring to see if any activity happens during this episode. It's just going to do, unless it goes off, it'll just be the once every 5-minute beep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which it may or may not end up in the episode depending on my editing skills and when it goes off and what we're saying.
If you want to know why I have the REM pod on. If you're a patron, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
You already
learned
know
at our last live or our April live.
April live. Yeah. You will know why it is on. Everybody else, you're just going to have to wait until, I don't know, the episode after this or the episode after that. You know.
Okay.
So we will let you know in an episode or two why I have the REM pod on, but patrons, you already know.
You do already know.
Yep.
You were there. You
You
saw
were.
it happen.
You saw it happen.
Even though it hasn't happened yet, but it will happen.
It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen, and they're going to be there for it. That's right. All right.
I hope that we are confusing you because that's the goal.
That is the goal.
Go join our Patreon, and then you'll learn all the secrets.
Yeah, if you haven't figured out yet why we can't be specific about what happened at Paracon is because, as we said, it is April. And Paracon is in May. When you are listening to this episode.
Yes.
All right. Welcome to our scripted, unscripted banter.
Yes. Welcome.
But I do have a question for you.
You better.
I do. If you could try 3 things with no consequences, what would they be? Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. Skydiving, but without a parachute. There's no consequences. No negative consequences. Like the consequence of having a good time. Yeah. But no negative consequences.
Okay. But why?
Why not? I to fly through the air.
Right, but you do get to fly through the air with a parachute.
Yeah, but it'd be a lot more fun without one.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
No, what was that? I heard your REM pod beep.
That's so weird. It sounded like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it, Jen.
What?
It sounded like something moving under my desk.
Ooh. Maybe it's just Boogie.
Maybe it's Boogie. I saw my boogers.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to our question.
Okay.
Because it's my answer. That's why no parachute. I would storm Area 51 and go look at all the things.
Okay.
And see if there's anything there.
Okay. That's a good one.
I think it would be really funny if it was like Just cubicles and just nothing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And I would summon a demon. I
Ooh,
want to
that's a
see
good one.
I want to see if they're real.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
I am gonna piggyback off of that one, but I'm gonna take it a step further.
Okay.
I'm gonna get possessed by a demon.
Ooh, I like it. I'll summon
Mhm.
it and then
Yeah,
you can have it possess you.
and then it possesses me. Because again, no consequences. So when I'm done, it's done. I tell it to leave, it leaves.
Right.
But I just want to see what it feels like how much awareness you have as the person that is being possessed.
I like it.
Yeah. My next one, three things.
Yeah.
Just throwing it at me. No time to prepare.
Yeah. Come up with one during the episode. You can interrupt me and let me know.
I'm gonna interrupt you anyway.
Yeah, you are.
Go swimming with sharks.
That's cool.
Yeah. No cage, like just full blown swimming.
I've thought about things with animals like hug a polar bear.
Oh yeah. That's a good
That would
one
be a cool
too.
thing.
I would I wanna hug a lion.
Oh, I want to like
Yeah, I
a
wanna
big
feel its
kitty cat
mane.
to like come and
Yeah,
rub up. Yeah.
I want the lion to rub its head against me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, those are all
Yeah,
good ones.
I would interact with any animal, really. Any dangerous animal that I can interact with.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the animal things would be really cool. Float through space,
Yeah.
walk on Pluto,
Yeah.
you know.
Does the thing
Go
have to be, like, plausible to do?
I don't know. I
Like,
mean, there's no negative like summon a demon. I don't know how plausible that is. It may be, but I don't
that's
really
true.
know. But like maybe go into a black hole. Well, that would
Yeah.
be cool,
That
right?
that would
Do I pop out the other side somewhere or,
there'd be a lot of things that I bet scientists would really like to be able to do that.
Oh
Different
yeah.
things that they could test and
Oh, that would
try,
be
explore.
fascinating if you gave every scientist on the planet the ability
Yes.
to do 3 things with no negative consequences and
Do you
be
know how
able to
much we would
report.
learn?
Oh my god, we'd know
Yeah.
so much.
Right. Do you have any diseases we could probably get rid of because you could just test something that you think might work but could be
We need to
dangerous?
figure out how to make this happen.
I know, right?
Well,
Be great.
listen, even if we figured out how to eradicate diseases, if it involved any part of the public participating,
I knew
probably
you were
wouldn't
going there.
happen.
As soon as I said it, I was
Probably
like,
wouldn't happen
just don't put the cure in a vaccine because
because nobody's gonna listen
that's
to that.
that's not working for everyone.
No. Mm-mm.
No. Yeah. We're not listening to science and just ignoring things.
In other news,
And
measles is back.
yeah. Oh god. Oh.
Yeah, good
Okay.
times. You ready to jump into today's topic?
I am feet first.
Feet first?
Mhm.
I like it. Without a parachute?
I'm not that excited to go head first, but I'll go feet first.
With no parachute.
No parachute.
Okay. Tucked in the deep wooded hollers of Kentucky lies a legend that's both fascinating and terrifying. Stories of small, otherworldly creatures with glowing eyes, pointed ears, and a habit of showing up when no one's quite expecting them. They're not quite aliens, not quite monsters, but something else. This episode, we're heading into the heart of the bluegrass state where locals whisper about strange sightings, glowing lights in the sky, and bizarre encounters that go back nearly a century. From the infamous 1955 Kelly Hopkinsville incident to more recent reports in the hills near Hellier, Kentucky's goblins have become a permanent fixture in American folklore. And maybe, just maybe, something more than that. Are these creatures extraterrestrial visitors, interdimensional beings, or simply the product of isolation and imagination? Tonight, were cracking open the mystery of the Kentucky Goblins.
Well, this is a topic that I know absolutely nothing about,
Oh, cool.
which doesn't happen very often for me.
So I got this idea when I was at your house,
I know. That's
and
about all I know about it.
somebody just mentioned, like, we were watching, I don't know what we were watching, some
I
paranormal
think it was
show,
paranormal caught on camera.
maybe. And
Yeah.
one of the people on the show just made an offhand comment about the goblins in Kentucky. And I was like,
What's that?
what's that?
Yeah.
But first, I have some facts for you. Now,
Okay.
I didn't know when you did your distilleries, I didn't know if you
Uh-huh.
did fun facts about Kentucky or not. So I tried to stay away from that. And I
I don't
did
remember.
facts about UFOs.
Okay.
Okay. In 1952, Washington, D.C. experienced a wave of UFO sightings. Multiple unknown objects were tracked by radar near the Capitol, White House, and Pentagon. Fighter jets were scrambled, but the objects vanished. The event led to a press conference, the biggest about UFOs in U.S. history.
Oh, I
An
didn't know about that.
actual press conference, not like somebody talking to Congress. It's like an actual press conference to the nation.
Nice.
In 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold saw 9 mysterious objects flying near Mount Rainier. He described them as moving like a saucer skipping across water. Reporters misunderstood, and the phrase flying saucer was born.
Okay.
It's interesting.
I like that.
Some scientists joke that octopuses, octopuses? I think it's octopuses, I think I
I
heard.
think it's octopi.
Is it?
I thought so.
Oh, we got to look. You look it up while I finish
Yeah.
reading this.
Okay.
Some scientists joke that octopuses or octopi might as well be aliens. Their DNA is wildly different from other Earth life, and their brains are split between their arms. One actual paper suggested their ancestors may have arrived via comet. It's not proven, it's just weird.
So according to Google, octopuses is the standard English plural.
Yeah.
Octopi is a hypercorrection. It is derived from the misunderstanding of the word's Latin origin, where the plural form would be octopi. However, octopus actually comes from Greek, not Latin, so octopi is not the correct plural.
Awesome.
Yeah, learn something new every day.
And that is your grammar fact of the week.
Yeah.
Okay, so some scary UFO facts. Since the 1940s, there's been a pattern of UFO sightings around nuclear missile silos and power plants. In some cases, like at Maelstrom Air Force Base in 1967, multiple nuclear missiles went offline during a sighting. The Air Force couldn't explain it. They still can't.
Hmm.
In 2023, former U.S. intelligence official David Grush told Congress that the U.S. has retrieved non-human biologics from crash sites, and he was under oath.
Oh. I mean, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, he was testifying in front of Congress, so.
But you say that aliens have never visited us.
Well, I don't know. It just says non-human biologics. It doesn't say that they visited. They crashed. I mean, if it
Well,
was a
then they
crash.
visited.
Well, like I think a visit is intentional. Like I'm like I didn't crash into your apartment. I drove down to visit you.
Well, I don't know. After you got here, it sure seemed like you crashed.
That's when I just leave all of my shit all over Jen's house and then can't find any of it ever.
Nothing.
And I'm constantly going, have you seen?
Then that I'm going on the search for it for her. Yeah. Feels like if you would have been in my apartment when she was here, you all would have thought she crashed. You never even thought that any of the UFO sightings could have actually been aliens. Well,
I
if
don't
one
know.
crashed,
It doesn't
then
seem feasible to me.
But if they found non-human remains at a crash site, then it is possible that someone could have seen that. Therefore, a UFO sighting could have been a real alien.
I don't know that non-human biologics means like I mean, it could have been a plant.
It could have been. Maybe aliens are plants.
That's interesting. I like that.
We don't know.
Hmm. Oh,
Could
no.
be like VeggieTales over here.
So, when I was younger and I was a Christian, I would watch VeggieTales sometimes. And then, I deconstructed from religion, blah, blah, blah. Kids grew up. Wasn't that long ago we were talking about VeggieTales, and I said something about it being a Christian thing, and Rebecca goes, "What? VeggieTales was about God?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "I thought it was just telling us to eat our vegetables."
So I watched VeggieTales in my elementary school, and I never realized that it was about God.
Really?
Nope. Not until I got older and saw somebody say something about it. And I was like, what? Really?
Hmm.
I kind of am on the same page as Rebecca. I just thought it was trying to make vegetables more fun. So therefore, we want to eat them.
Okay. I can see it.
Yeah.
So I guess when I say visited, like what I mean is an intentional, intelligent being that's like, we're gonna fly around here and abduct people and run tests on them. And I don't know
I
that
didn't
any
say
of
they
that's
were
ever happened.
abducting us, but I do believe that they have been here.
Okay.
But if they are abducting, I volunteer as tribute.
I don't know that I would do that because you don't
It can't
quite
be
know
any
what
worse.
they're doing.
It can't be any worse, Kelly.
Well, according to a guy I used to post with, he had a sexual relationship with one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
On an old message board back in the 90s.
yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah, sure.
It's not the only way I'm going to get any action. So,
Jed's like, I've had it with people on Earth.
right. Have you seen the dating apps? Come on.
Okay.
They're basically aliens anyway.
Our last scary fact is the classic gray alien, huge eyes, spindly limbs, and no mouth, is often described in abduction cases as cold, clinical, and unfeeling. So, men.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right. But no mouth? I don't know. When I picture an alien, I picture them with a mouth.
I don't know. Witnesses say they seem interested only in experimentation and not communication.
They can experiment with me. I'm good with that.
Did you just want to talk to somebody sometimes, though?
I mean, depends. Depends on the mood.
Do you want them to abduct you and bring you back or take you away and keep you?
We'll see. Depends what
Uh,
it's like up there.
excuse me. How willing you are to throw Kristen and I away like that.
I'll come back and visit.
Okay.
I'm going to explore uncharted territory, and then I'll come and bring you guys with me.
Okay.
And the select few people you also want to bring.
Nobody.
Your family?
Oh, well, will I have to stay there when I go?
No, but I mean, we could re-inhabit another location and start over. That's the
Oh,
whole
so it
point.
could be like my family and
Yeah,
you and whoever you want to bring, and Kristen
yeah,
and whoever Kristen wants to bring, and Josh Gates and Alex from Project Fear.
absolutely.
Oh, okay. We don't got time to get into all who. Us.
We obviously need some people to procreate.
Correct.
I don't know if alien human offspring is physically possible. If it is, then cool. But if not,
Right.
we got to keep the human race going.
Sure. Okay.
I'm talking to you, Alex.
So we're going to get into some of the history of this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Why do we so often picture aliens as little green beings with big heads and wide glowing eyes? That
I don't know,
image,
Callie. Why?
now a sci-fi staple, partly traces back to the strange night in rural Kentucky in 1955. On August 21st of that year, the Sutton family, an extended group. Extended group? What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
The Sutton family, living on a modest farm, rushed into the Hopkinsville police station in a panic. What they reported was extraordinary. An hours-long standoff with bizarre creatures they claim came from another world. With nearly a dozen witnesses and a close-range sighting of the beings, the event quickly became one of the most detailed and talked about close encounter cases in American history.
That's interesting that there were so many eyewitness people there.
I guess they were a large family.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, when you're talking about in the mountains in Kentucky back in the day, you probably had like generational living,
Yeah.
you know, or families that just lived very close to each other.
That makes sense. And
Yeah.
it could have also been, it didn't necessarily say it was just the family. There could have been other neighbors
Yeah.
or other people.
Okay. The Suttons lived in Kelly. Not me.
Did they? That's
n-
kind of
this
weird.
not me. It's a small farming community. and this
I didn't
is
realize you were a small farming community.
in southwestern Kentucky.
You think you know a girl.
Yeah,
And then,
seriously. Their house was a simple 3-room structure with no electricity, phone, or modern conveniences. But despite the quiet, isolated setting, that night would be anything but peaceful. When the family reached the police station at around 11 p.m., they were visibly shaken. One man's heart was reportedly pounding at 140 beats per minute. That's pretty
just
fast,
just standing there.
I'm assuming.
I don't know. My heart rate gets up there if I have anxiety sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'll get alerts that I met my like zone minutes for the week. You're in a fat burn zone. No, it's just anxiety,
No,
bitch.
just anxiety.
Police Chief Russell Greenwell later remarked that this wasn't a family prone to hysterics or prone to seeking help from authorities. They were far more likely to grab a shotgun than run to town. But on
Okay.
this night, something had scared them badly enough to do just that. According to the accounts given to police, things took a strange turn around 7 p.m. that hot August night. Billy Ray Taylor, a visitor from Pennsylvania, had stepped out to get water from the backyard well on the Sutton farm. As he told it, something caught his eye in the sky, a glowing metallic object that shimmered with shifting rainbow colors. Oh, it was a
Yeah.
pride alien ship.
Pride aliens. I
Mhm.
love it.
Yeah. It made no sound as it glided overhead, paused briefly above the farmhouse, and then suddenly dropped straight down behind the tree line. Billy Ray was
Okay.
just 21 at the time. In town with his
Was he
18-year-old,
drunk?
does not say.
Okay. I mean, he is in Kentucky. That is the bourbon capital of the
Mhm.
US.
Yeah.
Was there a nearby distillery that they were drinking? And that's why they reported all of this.
It did not say that,
Okay.
but it's
Just throwing it
possible.
out there. Yeah.
It could have been moonshine too. It could have been,
That's true.
maybe that's why he needed water from the well, because he was really drunk
Yeah.
on somebody's
On his
moonshine.
homemade moonshine.
Right. So Billy Ray was 21 years old and he was in town with his 18-year-old wife to visit his old friend Lucky Sutton, a fellow carnival worker.
Oh. Well, then he was definitely drunk.
Probably.
Yeah.
The household they were visiting was packed. Matriarch Gleneen Lankford, her grown sons and their wives, a brother-in-law, and her 3 younger kids aged 12, 10, and 7. When Billy Ray rushed back inside, excited and unnerved, the rest of the family didn't think much of it. They figured he had either seen a shooting star or let his imagination get the better of him.
Or was wasted.
Or
But
was wasted.
I have never seen a rainbow shooting star.
I have seen quite a few shooting stars, and I have not seen a rainbow one either.
I mean, that would be really cool. I'm down for it, but I don't think it exists.
It's like on the farm in the middle of nowhere, there's not a lot of light pollution, and you see a lot of shooting stars
Yeah.
and never a rainbow one.
No.
About an hour later, the family dog started barking like crazy.
Trust your pets.
That's right. Lucky and Billy Ray headed to the back door to investigate and noticed something glowing near the edge of the property. In that strange light, they spotted a small figure, maybe 3.5 feet tall, with long arms that nearly reached the ground. Its head was large and round, and its eyes glowed yellow in the moonlight. They said its skin had a metallic sheen, almost as if it was made of polished silver.
Oh, that's a interesting way to describe something.
Yeah. Panicked, the two men grabbed a shotgun and a rifle and fired at the creature, which raised its hands as if surrendering, and then suddenly flipped backwards and vanished into the dark. Why would you shoot it? What if you were wrong about the long arms and it was actually like a small child
Right.
in a costume, perhaps? Like, why would you just shoot at it?
Right. That's the I don't understand people sometimes when it comes. I This is why I don't think I would ever want to own a gun because like you just randomly shooting at things. I don't know.
I don't mind owning a gun. I think we need common sense gun laws, but I don't mind owning a gun.
Yeah.
I don't currently, but wouldn't
I
necessarily be
like
opposed.
shooting guns, but like at a gun range.
Never shot a gun.
Really?
Really?
Oh, they're fun.
Yeah.
My dad has guns and he's taking me to the range. And then I paid to shoot like military grade weapons in Vegas,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is really fun.
Yeah.
They're like literally I have a video of it and like the soldier behind me because like they go in with you and kind of train you on it. It's literally set on a thing, so you're not even fully holding it. And like the guy was like holding his hand on my back because of how much kickback the gun was giving
Oh,
me. And
wow.
he was making sure that I didn't like, fly backwards. So they're powerful. It's a lot, it's expensive, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds like
I
it.
definitely recommend it if you've never done it.
I have not. I think
Okay.
I would
Well,
want to shoot a normal gun before I went military grade.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably smart.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of normal gun because I don't know anything about guns.
I know very little about guns.
Not long after, another creature appeared at the side window. Again, they fired, but it seemed unfazed by bullets. It tumbled out of sight just like the first one. Mrs. Langford later described what she saw creeping up to the door as something shaped like a gas can with legs. Yeah, let's shoot that.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture a gas can with legs. And it's a pretty funny picture.
A gas can with legs, but then the other people are saying it had like a rounded head and it was like 3 feet tall with long arms. So it
Right.
doesn't
So
it
how can
doesn't
it be
seem
the
to.
same?
I don't know.
Maybe they were on some drugs too and they were all saying different things.
Or just maybe Mrs. Langford wasn't drunk and everybody else
Oh,
was.
that's true. It was
That's
actually
possible.
a gas can with legs and then everybody
Walking
else was
up.
drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Look at that
Probably.
alien." It's like, "No, it's
Yeah.
just the local gas tank."
Yeah. With legs.
Yeah. So she said its surface was gleaming like the chrome on her refrigerator.
They have okay, all this whole family should be writers because they have a fantastic way of describing
Yeah.
things. Why are they not writers?
What I like is that as they're shooting at these things, they're like tumbling away. It's almost like a carnival game.
Yeah,
And they were carnival people.
they were.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
It was probably just some carny that just came to check on them.
Yeah, that's gas. You mean Gus? No, gas. Gas
Yes,
can.
gas can with legs.
Okay, so the situation took a terrifying. It took a
Terrifying.
terrifying turn.
It was
It
terrifying.
was so terrifying. The situation took a terrifying turn when Billy Ray Taylor stepped outside beneath a small awning. Suddenly, those behind him saw what looked like a clawed hand reach down from above and brush through his hair. Chaos broke out. Someone yanked Billy Ray backward while Lucky fired his gun toward the overhang. Almost immediately, he spotted another creature perched in the nearby tree. He took aim again. The figure seemed to float gently to the ground before darting away into the woods.
This
The
is quite the scene that you're
yes,
painting here.
yeah. The family retreated indoors, too frightened to sleep. For the next several hours, they huddled together listening. Every now and then, they heard soft scraping sounds coming from the roof.
Oh, so
By
it's
a
Santa.
Yes, exactly. It's
Yeah,
Santa and gas can.
gas can legs.
Yeah, gas can legs.
That's Santa's new reindeer.
That's my dream is for somebody to go, look at her. She's so hot. She's built like a gas can with legs.
Oh,
I love it. Okay. By 11 p.m., they couldn't take it anymore. Everyone, adults and kids, piled into their vehicles and sped off to the police station in Hopkinsville, still visibly shaken. Their report prompted a major response. Local police arrived at the farm, joined by state troopers, military police from Fort Campbell, and even a photographer from the Kentucky New Era newspaper. Boy, they had all those just waiting there in that
right.
police station.
What shocks me the most is that they were believed, because I feel like if this family came out nowadays
Yeah, it's
with that
1955.
story, they would have been like laughed out of the police station.
Hmm. Yeah, they probably would have been in trouble for just shooting their guns all willy nilly too.
Probably.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know about like out in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, but
Yeah. I don't know what the laws are.
yeah.
In Florida, they would have been fine.
Yeah. Investigators found spent shell casings scattered around the property, confirming that shots had been fired. But beyond that, there was no sign of strange visitors. No footprints, no damage, and no alcohol involved, according to Mrs. Langford.
Hmm.
Alcohol wasn't permitted in her home.
Yeah. Well, she didn't talk about on the farm.
That's
She
right.
just said inside the home.
That's right.
He was going out to the well to get his buried moonshine.
That's right. But the
Yep.
story doesn't end there.
Oh, good.
After the authorities packed up and left, the family settled in only for the eerie activity to resume. Between 2:30 a.m. and sunrise, the creatures came back. Mrs. Langford later said she saw one of them glowing faintly outside her bedroom window, its hand, long and clawed, resting quietly against the screen. I-
Is it the same hand that rubs whatever what's the other guy's name? Bill Joe, Billie
Billy
Jean,
Ray.
Billy Ray, one of the something like that. Is it the same hand that rubbed Billy Ray's hair?
It could be. It's the same type of hand.
Okay, so I love having my hair played with, so these aliens can come hang out with me anytime if they just want to rub my hair. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Just you and old gas can legs and Billy Ray
Gas can
Cyrus.
legs with some claws rubbing my hair.
In the days that followed, news of the bizarre encounter spread fast. Radio reports, newspaper headlines, and even outlets as far reaching as the New York Times picked up the story. Before long, the Sutton farm was swarming with curious visitors. People came from all over, hoping for a glimpse of the strange beings. Others just looking to mock the family. Many accused the Suttons of making it all up or being too uneducated to tell fact from fiction.
Okay, that's fair.
Is it? I
I
mean,
mean, we're saying they're drunk, so
they're not, I know, but still, it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think there are definitely some people nowadays that are too uneducated to tell fact from
Oh, that's
fiction.
true. What the fuck am I talking about? You're
Yeah,
absolutely right. Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know this family personally, but there are definitely some people out there that I would say that about. So,
The no trespassing signs didn't help, and the crowds kept coming. So, in an effort to regain some control and maybe cover damages, the family started charging small fees: 50 cents to walk the property, a dollar for details, 10 for taking pictures. That move sparked another wave of criticism. Now, skeptics accuse them of trying to cash in on the story. First of all, if I see aliens on my property, I'm absolutely cashing in on that experience.
yes, but I think we've all experienced too much where people try to make money off of things and then we find out that they're hoax.
True.
So I see where that skepticism comes in even more so when you found out that people are charging, especially considering they don't really have any evidence
Right. Just the
on their
shell
property
casings that they,
currently.
like, the police found the shell casings that they were shooting, but you could be shooting at
Right, but you
anything.
could have been shooting at a deer or a raccoon.
Right. Okay.
And like it would be different if you had like a craft that crashed and you had something like, yes, then you can say like, oh, I'm going to charge people to come see this because I've got actual evidence. But just to be like, oh, just come walk the property for this much money to see where it went down, I don't know.
Yeah. So, as the tale made its way across the country, the details began to morph. Reports began to mention a dozen or more goblin like figures instead of just a few. Not long after, another unrelated sighting in eastern Kentucky, this one involving a flying saucer and a tall figure in green, got lumped into the same narrative.
Okay.
And just like that, the legend of Little Green Men was born, merging real reports with rumor, exaggeration, and pop culture's growing obsession with alien life. The morning after the strange events, investigators returned to the Sutton farmhouse hoping to find physical proof of the previous night's encounter. They searched the area thoroughly, looking for signs of a landing, footprints, blood, or even scratches on the roof where the creatures were supposedly heard.
But
But their
nothing, right?
search turned up empty as usual.
Yeah.
A local radio station employee named Bud Ledwith came out to interview the adult witnesses. Using their individual recollections, he sketched out a drawing of what they claimed to have seen. What stood out to him wasn't just the bizarre descriptions, but the consistency between the accounts. Even though the men had been away from the property most of the day and they hadn't had a chance to compare notes. I don't believe
Okay.
that
Yeah.
because they also said they came back to the farm and then they went to bed. And then at
Right.
2:30 in the morning, it all happened again. So I think
Yeah.
that they did in fact have time, but this is what the report says.
Okay.
Though the case did catch the attention of the Air Force's Project Blue Book, an official program investigating UFO reports, records show they didn't pursue it beyond checking in with the military police at Fort Campbell, who had briefly responded the first night. A deeper dive into the case came in 1956 from UFOologist Isabel Davis. Working with the Center for UFO Studies, which is wild to me that we have one, an organization founded by astronomer J. Allen Hynek, who consulted for Project Blue Book, she compiled nearly a 200-page report alongside researcher Ted Blochier. Their investigation included maps, sketches, firsthand interviews, and references to similar sightings around the world. Davis acknowledged the lack of hard evidence, but felt that none of the common explanations, like hoax, publicity stunt, or even mass hysteria, fully accounted for what happened. While there was speculation that the younger men may have exaggerated parts of the story
Or been drunk.
or been drunk, perhaps under the influence of alcohol,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Davis's impression of Gleneen Langford, the family matriarch, carried weight. She described her as a reserved, serious woman who had no desire for attention and no history of making wild claims. None of the witnesses, according to Davis, had reputations for storytelling or seeking the spotlight at all.
They
Years
were
later,
carnies. They were carnies.
well, they just work the job. That doesn't mean that they're like sideshow performers. A
Didn't
carny
say
can
that.
be the people that set up the rides and run
That's
the
true.
rides.
That's true.
Years later, in 2006, Joe Nickel, a prominent skeptic and investigator with the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry, revisited the case in an article titled The Siege of Little Green Men. Nickel cast doubt on Billy Ray Taylor's version of events, noting that similar UFO reports from the same day pointed to a meteor sighting in the area. As for
Okay.
the mysterious beings, Nickel offered a more grounded explanation. Owls.
Owls?
Yeah. So the last time I saw an owl, I can tell you what I didn't say is, look at that gas can with legs.
I have never thought an owl looked like an alien in my entire life,
Correct. Specifically,
nor a gas tank with legs.
exactly. Specifically, the great horned owl. These large birds have glowing yellow eyes, prominent ear tufts, and sharp talons, and a tendency to fly silently. All traits that could align with the Sutton's description.
But you
Under
know
the
what they don't have?
shiny chrome like
Legs
skin or polished,
or legs.
I don't know, they might have little legs. Owls have little
They
legs. They
they
sit.
have like claws,
Talons. Yeah.
talons, yeah, but not legs.
So he says that in the right lighting, their feathers may even give off a metallic shine, especially if they were reflecting moonlight. Now, I will say this, they have the yellow eyes. They
They
can
do
give
have
off
yellow eyes.
they can give off a metallic shine. They do have like talons, claws. So, like we do know that owls exist. We do
That's
not
true.
know that aliens exist. So
Kelly,
I
I have been very, very drunk before, and never in any of my drunken states do I think I could have mistaken an owl for an alien.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying we know one of them exists. We don't know if the other one exists. And as far as this gentleman goes, I don't think his line of thinking is really all that, except for the gas can with legs.
Yeah,
That part I really don't get, but I can see why he thinks it could have been this particular owl. I don't know that I think he's right, but I can at least follow his line of thinking.
I can to an extent,
Yeah,
but I feel like there's probably better creatures that he could have said it was.
right.
I can't think of them right off the top of my head, but I'm sure something else fits it a little bit better.
Well, while owls hoot and are known to be active at dusk and extremely aggressive when defending their nests, some investigators question characteristics of the creatures as hostile. To some, their behavior that night in Kelly appeared to be simply curious, not aggressive. Because it wasn't really doing anything aggressive towards these people.
No, they were the ones being aggressive.
Right. As this story got picked up and twisted throughout the decades, these goblins became synonymous with aliens. And you can thank pop culture for that little shift.
Okay,
As it
thank you, pop
turns out,
culture.
yeah, thanks, pop culture. As it turns out, these goblins have a quiet but persistent impact on what we imagine when we talk about the extraterrestrials or the others. A lot of classic alien imagery, big heads, glowing eyes, long arms, actually mirrors what the Sutton family described that night. Take movies, for instance. Spielberg's E.T. wasn't directly based on the Kelly incident, but that wave of 80s alien fascination, the roots are in stories like this one. And if you've ever seen M. Night Shyamalan's Signs, the whole family barricaded in a farmhouse while weird things lurked outside is basically the Kelly event with a bigger budget.
Yeah.
Like hearing things scrape on the roof and
Yeah.
but it doesn't stop with movies. In recent years, the Goblins have made a comeback in the paranormal scene, thanks to the docuseries Hellier. That show blends the Kelly case with cave systems, synchronicities, and secret societies, and a healthy dose of cosmic paranoia. If you like your weird served with an extra weird on top, Hellier's worth checking out. I was unable to find it, but I do have a little bit more information later on.
Yeah, I do like my weird with extra weird on top, so
I
I
do
will have to
too.
check it out if I
So
can find it.
even in games and internet horror, the Kentucky's goblins pop up, sometimes as literal cryptids, sometimes as symbols of liminal horror. You know that unsettling space between what's real and what's definitely shouldn't be? That's goblin territory. They're cases that don't fit into neat little boxes of aliens, ghosts, or monsters. They're just weird. And that weirdness is what makes them stick. The goblins of Kentucky aren't just spooky bedtime stories, they're part of our myth making machine. They've crawled out of the hollow hills and into our media, our stories, and our collective idea of what might be lurking outside the light. So, are you ready for some stories?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So, I went to Reddit and I found these two stories. This is from Reddit user Lynch Hilliard.
Okay.
Hello, new to Reddit here. I looked into a few Reddit pages and I'm honestly not sure where I should even post this. So I hope this is okay. I'm posting because my wife recently came across another post regarding sightings in the same area, so I wanted to share mine. I grew up in Partridge, Kentucky, which is near Kingdom Come State Park, if you are familiar with the area. Anyway, I recently was able to visit a place called Portal 31 in Lynch, Kentucky with my wife and daughter. Portal 31 is one of the few mine tours in the area that you can go to and actually experience what the history of the coal industry not only was to Kentucky, but also the long-standing effects of what it had on the area. And these effects are still being felt today. Also get to go in a real mine cart.
Oh,
How cool is
fun.
that?
Yeah.
As we were leaving, we stopped at the cafe outside, and I was walking around while waiting for my wife to order. While looking across the street, I noticed a very large power plant. I believe it was an old power plant, or it might still be active. I'm not quite sure. But while I was looking at the power plant, I noticed what I can only describe as three small creatures, roughly 3.5 feet tall. My daughter is slightly taller than they were, and she just turned 5. These creatures matched the description of the original Hopkinsville case, and growing up in Kentucky, I was about as excited as one could be. It was like
So they
seeing
looked like gas cans with
with
legs?
legs. He said it
Okay.
was like seeing a real life superhero. That's how,
I
because
mean,
he
that's
grew
fair.
up in the area, so he's heard about these his whole life. It
Okay.
looked like they went into the building, and by the time I got my wife, who had her camera, they had already gone. So sadly, I don't have anything to show from it apart from a really cool story, but I would probably tell anyone that will listen for the next 10 years. Lately, I've heard a lot of stories of weird things in the woods surrounding the state park and Pine Mountain. I have close friends that do not believe in the paranormal tell me that they have seen and heard things that they just don't quite understand.
Okay. That seems cool.
So this next one is Reddit user Modest Focus. It's very short. But she says,
Okay.
my mom was an EMT in the early 2000s. Some hikers got lost and hurt at Bad Branch Falls one night. I think it was past midnight before they finally found them and brought them out. But my mom said that her and a couple other people had seen a small creature, a couple of feet tall, standing on two legs in the woods watching them. So it
Interesting.
seems like this area of Kentucky is just filled with things like this.
Yeah. Now, besides the shooting star that looked like a rainbow, what makes people believe these are aliens?
Well, as it said, it got lumped into a different story.
Okay.
So these people were saying these were just like goblins. The one guy saw the thing fall, but then there was another story that happened somewhere near the area that got
Okay.
merged together with this one. We talked about that earlier. And that's how it
Sorry.
became, it's all right. That's how it kind of got melded together as they the goblins became aliens in,
Okay. Because to me,
you
they
know,
just sound more like goblins.
right. So the guy that did the Hellier docuseries, again, I cannot find it. I wish I could. In mid 2012, Greg Newkirk,
Oh,
do you know him?
yeah. Greg and Dana Newkirk have like do like haunted shows with like they like known for collecting haunted objects.
Oh, okay. Well, they received an email from a man calling himself Dr. David Christie. He described his home in Kentucky near the West Virginia border, where he claimed he was being assaulted by extraterrestrial creatures. He described these aliens as having the size and stature of a small child, devoid of any facial features,
That's terrifying.
except for large, oily eyes and lipless mouths. How do you have a
Oh,
lipless mouth? That sounds
maybe just
terrible.
the slit.
I guess. He said they had been peering through his children's windows in the middle of the night and attempted to enter the house. They made strange sounds and glowed with strange lights. They left a three-toed heelless tracks in the snow and mud and abducted his dog. He thought they were coming from an abandoned mine located on the edge of his property. Eventually, he sealed the entrance to the mine and abandoned the house. Now, this guy acted on this and made a whole docuseries about it.
Okay,
That again, I have been unable to
to
find.
find. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd be interested to watch it.
I know. I'm gonna keep looking because
Okay.
you never know. It might pop up somewhere, or maybe I can get it on DVD somewhere,
Yeah. DVD. What's that?
Blu-ray, something like that.
People still do that. Is that
Well,
still a thing
if you
people
can
do?
find it streaming,
Oh, okay.
but I'm not sure. But that brings us to the end of this episode about the goblins in Kentucky.
If you liked what you heard, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Your support helps us to keep bringing you all these spooky tales.
It really does.
Yes.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Not My Ghost Podcast and on Facebook at Not My Ghost, Not My Problem. We post updates, photos, and more.
And if you want even more spooky content, consider joining our Patreon page. We were just talking about it earlier in the episode, and we have all kinds of great exclusive perks for you. And you get to chat with us on Discord and have lives with us every month. And it's a lot of fun.
Yes, you can go to www.patreon.com/notmyghost,
Do it. And if you have ever encountered a Kentucky goblin or have had really any type of paranormal experience, we're not really picky. You can email it to us at notmyghostpodcast@gmail.com because we love to read your spooky stories and read them on future episodes.
We absolutely will. Well, thank you for joining us on this otherworldly exploration of the goblins in Kentucky. Remember, as you look to the skies, keep this in mind.
If it's not your goblin,
It's not your problem.
until next time, stay spooky.
And stay skeptical.